Now, take a look at this. The number of border encounters is higher than it was under President Obama. And the Obama administration did indeed call it a crisis back then. This administration still will not call it a crisis. Chad Wolf is with us, fortunately. He's the former acting secretary of DHS. Chad, really want to welcome you to the show. We've had video all morning long of them streaming across the border. You've seen the numbers. 204 tested positive for COVID. How are we going to stop this flow?
Well, it's a great question. I will say what's occurring on the border today is certainly a crisis. It was a crisis in 2019 when myself and my colleagues addressed the issue in 2019. And those numbers are up today, and we see them increasing over the next several months. So what can we do about it? There's a number of things the Department of Homeland Security can do. Unfortunately, since Inauguration Day, they have taken a number of our policies and procedures that we had in place off the table. And they've replaced them with, as far as I can tell, a catch and release style approach. So they are sending a lot of resources, whether it's Border Patrol agents, money, and others down to the border, but they're not doing that to secure the border. Unfortunately, what they're sending resources down there is to quickly and more expeditiously process these individuals so that they are released into the country. It's a vastly different approach on how to not only secure our border, but also to operate our immigration system. It's one that's dangerous, and it's unfortunate.
Is it true that if a migrant sets one foot in America, they're here to stay? They never have to leave. Is that accurate?
Well, it's certainly true under the Biden administration. We use Title 42, which is the CDC health authority, over the last several months, going well back into 2020, to turn individuals around in a COVID-like environment because, as your numbers indicate, a number of them were crossing with the virus. The Biden administration has decided to stop doing that, both with UACs and a portion of family units. You mentioned, there was a number, I believe Griff reported earlier, the number of family units have skyrocketed from January to February. We talk a lot about the unaccompanied children, and that's a crisis, but the family units as well. We've gone from about 7,000 in January to over 19,000 just in February alone. That number will likely be well north of that come March. And what's occurring is they are simply releasing these individuals into the interior of the country. So, it's the wrong approach.
Wait a second. Do we know whether these unaccompanied minors, thousands of them, do we know actually who's picking them up? Do we put them on buses and shuffle them off to various cities and figure out that somebody will pick them up? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, so it's a couple of different fronts. So as the minors come across the border, as they're in Mexico, a lot of them actually come to the border with their parents. Their parents then choose to send their minor or their child across that border on their own, knowing that they will get into the United States and stay in the United States. Others send their children alone in the hands of smugglers, traffickers, and others. So it's very dangerous on the child as they make the journey up. And once they get here, they'll stay in Border Patrol facilities. And right now, why do we know it's a crisis? Because Border Patrol has reportedly around 3,500 children in Border Patrol facilities for well over 100 hours, which is far beyond the time that they should be. And that's not the fault of the Border Patrol at all. They're overwhelmed at the moment. And then they go to HHS facilities where they are released to a sponsor who in some cases is a relative or a parent. It could be a citizen, or it could also be an illegal alien as well.
Indeed it could. Chad Wolf, thank you very much for joining us, sir, on a very difficult and important subject. We appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much indeed.
All right, thank you.